Welcome to the channel. In this video, we got some breaking news coming to you from Disney and Disney Star Wars, and the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser is going to permanently close this September, late September. I knew since the day that this opened that this was not going to last a long time, maybe a little bit over a year, but I don't think it's even been a year, and I'll put the date of its opening here on the screen. But I knew it wasn't going to open. This is a testament of the Disney Star Wars and the Star Wars brand under Disney and their failure to understand Star Wars and the fans. They're then putting like activists and corporate people to run Star Wars in the movie department, in the what's called in the toy department, in the theme park department, and now in this hotel department. And that's why this hotel failed, and now it's closing. Since this hotel opened, they've been offering like discounts, coupon days, and everything like that, and there's been cancellations, and the hotel just did not get the bookings that Disney wanted, and obviously they're forced to close it now because it's not making money. And it's all because of the decisions that they made with this hotel. First of all, they're setting this hotel between The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, and those movies, along with The Force Awakens, helped destroy the Star Wars franchise. Those were the first thing that helped destroy the Star Wars franchise. And then the last failure that they had was Mandalorian season 3, which was a far contrast from season 1 and a lot of season 2, especially that banger of a finale. So they have all these failures. They have the movies. They have Galaxy's Edge, was they failed because they themed it to the sequels as well, and that was Kathleen Kennedy's fault. They failed with this hotel, and then the TV shows. They have no wins. They just they don't know. They don't understand Star Wars. They don't understand what the fans want. This hotel, all this hotel needed to be was like a Death Star, a Jedi Temple, a Rebel Base, Hoth or Andor, the Hoth Echo Base. And then fans would have gone like they would have had so many bookings. And if they had done the original trilogy or prequel trilogy theming with those locations, because fans just wanted like movie locations. We wanted to live in those stories from the movies. We wanted to meet the characters in those settings, in those locations, with those stories, make up new stories as well. If they had charged the $6,000 bundle, which was for the family, for like a large group of people, and they had done it the originals and prequels with those settings, with that price, then probably a lot more people would have been interested in it, and I'm pretty sure that they actually would have had some good money out of that and a lot of bookings. But in this case, they just failed. It just bombed because they themed it to like the worst side of Star Wars, which is their Star Wars, compared to George Lucas Star Wars. George Lucas Star Wars, he made it so accessible to everybody. He gave those movies and his stories the complexities, which is the cherry on top, but he just kept things simple. He kept his business practices, his filmmaking, his stories simple enough that it was accessible to a lot of people, because he was like the everyman. He kept it accessible to youth, kids, the kid in us, but also adults, men and women. There were characters and stories there that a lot of us, adults and kids, could relate to. But in the case of Disney, all they care about is agendas, identity politics, ideologies. They care about just listening to a small group of people on Twitter, which make up the 0.01% of the population. They don't care about the fans. They don't care about Star Wars. And unfortunately, you have the wrong people making decisions and creating these experiences for Star Wars that are not Star Wars. They don't have in mind the art, the storytelling, or any of that to make good Star Wars. So that's why they failed. That's why this is closing. That's why they failed in the TV shows, in the movies, and at the theme parks, and with this hotel. So let's look just quickly at this article and what it's saying. And there's a quote here, a statement here by Disney, and I want to just read it here to you and just kind of analyze a little bit of what they're trying to say here. But a lot of what they're saying here is just baloney. But let's see what the first line says right here. It says, Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser is one of our most creative projects ever, and it has been praised by our guests and recognized for setting a new bar for innovation and immersive entertainment. No. None of that is true. All of that is baloney. And let's go on to the next line right here. This premium experience gave us the opportunity to try new things on a smaller scale of 100 rooms and we will take what we've learned to create future experiences that can reach more of our guests and fans. Now, in this line right here, in this second line, it seems like there's some regret there, and maybe they learned something, and that this Star Wars hotel, which was themed to the sequels, was not accessible to a larger base of guests, and fans, because obviously the large Star Wars fan base is not really interested in the sequels. They want to see the originals or the prequels. They want to go and experience that. So Disney is probably right now saying, you know, they shot themselves in the foot, and they're pinching themselves, and they're like, you know what, we messed up. We need to reach out to the larger fan base, which is most of the majority of people like the George Lucas Star Wars movie. So we need to think about an experience in the future that has the George Lucas Star Wars. And that's probably what they're trying to say there, but they're really not saying it. And then they just go and say right here how some of the technicalities with the bookings, if guests have bookings, that they're going to be accommodated somewhere or the other. So it's just a mess right now with the current bookings, with people that have bookings and everything like that. But it looks like they're going to open reservations May 26th. And who knows who's going to go. There's going to be a lot of vloggers and YouTubers and influencers on the last day crying and moping and saying, oh, this is emotional that it's closing and everything like that. And it's just Disney shows, you know. And I am a theme park channel, but even I have my criticisms of Universal, but their criticisms are far and wide different than what Disney has, and not even the same type of stuff. Was Disney has like the agenda-driven stuff. But I'll call out either one or the other, and I'll also just give them their points when they do something good at the theme parks. So yeah, that's gonna do it for the video. Now, and one last thought I want to leave you with is wonder what they're gonna do with the actual building where the Star Wars hotel was. There is some talk that maybe they could do it into like a dinner party thing, where you go for like a couple hours, or maybe even a whole day. You have dinner, you have food, maybe even lunch or whatever, and then you walk around the hotel, you walk around the rooms, you play some games or some characters, maybe there's some shows. But in order for even that to be attractive to people to go and spend money, maybe $300, $400, $500, they're gonna have to still retheme it. If they keep it just as the sequels, if they have Rey and Kylo Ren there, and they have all these weird choices for the entertainment, and if they don't upgrade the food, because the food doesn't look really good, the drinks don't look really good, and everything like that. I think one of the drinks there was like around $10,000. There was a drink there that was kind of themed to Palpatine, Darth Sidious, and it was just like a shot of alcohol. You drank it, but that's it. You spend like all these thousands of dollars for this drink. So there was just a lot of bad choices with the food, the prices, and everything. But even if they offer this little like dinner thing, if it's still themed to the sequels, I don't think it's still going to be that successful. They have to find a way to include the George Lucas Star Wars movies in there, so that people at least will be interested in a few hours of entertainment and dinner at this Star Wars hotel. And then maybe if they want to, they can even offer a one-night stay. If the people that go there, they're like, oh cool, this is pretty cool, we would be interested in staying one night. But again, it has to you have to have Darth Vader in there, you have to have the original characters in there for even that to be somewhat of a success. Because if it, even that, in my opinion, will not, you know, it will not take off if you just keep it with the sequels. Another thing I've heard some crazy things, that there's some rumors that they might use it for wedding parties or something like that. So at this point, you know, who knows what's gonna happen. In my opinion, I think they should retheme it to like something like Avatar. Make it be one of those ships that is like going to Pandora, and then you're getting your avatar there, and they already have this futuristic type of setting in that hotel. They could do a little bit of retheming in there and make it Avatar, and you're going to Pandora, and then maybe they could have a room where it's like virtual reality and you're on Pandora. They could do that. But obviously they just don't understand how to do Star Wars. They need to get some artists, filmmakers, storytellers that understand Star Wars, so that they can do this hotel ride. But more importantly also is to have the original movies, retheme it to the Death Star, retheme it to a Jedi Temple, Echo Base on Hoth, something like that, that will entice Star Wars fans and even regular folks to go and experience what they saw in those movies. So that's going to do it for this video. Thank you again for watching. Hit that like button if you like this video. And in the meantime, I'll see you guys next time.